Tonight, on WTOP-10 Nightly News, Governor Hochul announces new COVID-19 numbers for New York.
And an inmate has killed himself in the Onondaga County Jail.
But first, SUNY Oswego's technology students win big at a competition in Delaware.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Thomas Cafarella.
And I'm Kaley Richmond.
SUNY Oswego's Technology Students Association, SUNY Oswego's Technology Student Association won 3 of their first place competitions in the annual TEECA, or Technology and Engineering Education Collegiate Association in Delaware. Led by the president Briley Sullivan, and also coaches Jack Hickey and Ryan Seguelia, Springston coaches Maggie Romano won the inaugural tournament in Delaware.
They then used the footage from the basketball games to produce a sports documentary for the communications contest, which they won as well. The club went on to finish first in the problem-solving challenge and in the top 3 in several other categories. The OTSA plans to repeat their performance during the upcoming International Technology and Engineering Educators Association Conference in April.
SUNY Oswego's professor is hosting a virtual launch for its long-term project she is working on, named Visualizing Women in Science. Serenity Sutherland is working alongside professionals to digitize old artifacts and to help make stories of women in science more accessible to everyone. The project is covering the biographies of 280 women through the 19th and 20th century.
SUNY Oswego's Chief of Staff, Christy Eck, will be a keynote speaker for the Greater Oswego Fulton Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting on Wednesday, March 15th. Eck will share her perspective on the importance of embracing a community-first mindset that focuses on recognizing the unique potential of our community and what's to come in the years ahead. For more information, visit centerstate.my.site.com.
The city of Oswego will begin smoothing over some of its bumpiest roads this May when the city's road new paving project rolls out. The project will be in the latest alongside a series of projects under Mayor Billy Barlow to improve driving conditions in Oswego.
Kyle Schnaufer is out on those streets to show just how much the city needs this paving.
When Billy Barlow first took office as mayor of Oswego, there was one issue that stood out among the community.
The biggest complaint I had heard about when I ran for mayor the first time, and even the second time, was the lack of paving being done in the city.
Those resident complaints have resulted in almost $8 million being invested in paving and infrastructure during Barlow's tenure.
To me, paving the streets was more of a housekeeping item than anything else, and they really needed it. So we budgeted about $850,000 a year from funding we got from New York State to pave as many streets as we could, starting with some of the worst areas in the city.
This map released by the city of Oswego highlights those efforts, showing nearly every road in the city being paved since the first round of paving in 2016. But in Barlow's final year in office, the city is going bigger than ever before.
Luckily this year, we have a little extra funds left over from last year, so I was able to tie it all together and propose the biggest paving plan in the history of the city, coming in at over $1 million.
Residents of the streets that will be repaired are excited to have their roads touched up, but are concerned about how the paving will affect living on the street during the paving process.
It'll stop you from going to Tully's all the time, or the gas station easier. So it'll get in the way, but at most it'll be a minor inconvenience, I think. But
the new project looks to pave some of the worst remaining roads in Oswego, including out here in the Trillium Garden development at the edge of the city limits. The project will put a cap on Barlow's infrastructure-heavy term in office. Kyle Schnaufer, Oswego Now.
The OER Steering Group invites the campus community to celebrate Open Education Week to highlight open education innovations and successes. Open education resources are teaching, learning, and research materials are created for free educational purposes and are widely used here at SUNY Oswego. The community is encouraged to participate in virtual events hosted across the globe in celebration.
We have more information about Governor Hochul's COVID-19 update, but before that, let's look at what happened in Oswego over the weekend.
Motorcycles took to the streets as Oswego County Comets Riding Club organized its annual area-wide food drive. They collected donations of non-perishable food items to help the First Presbyterian Church in Mexico's food pantry. In order to receive from the pantry, the church asked that the person receiving help is there to collect the items. Other than that, there are no requirements to take from the pantry.
And Oswego County held its annual St. Patrick's Day Parade on Saturday. A large crowd gathered to watch the parade despite its cold temperatures.
And a prisoner at Onondaga County Justice Center Jail was found dead Saturday morning, and the cause of the death was ruled as suicide. The man was found unconscious in a cell, and attempts to revive him proved unsuccessful. No information has been released regarding the man's identity. The death is the first reported this year at the Justice Center.
Governor Hochul has released a report updating New York State's COVID-19 status. According to the report, more than 860 people currently have COVID in New York. However, Oswego has a total of 8 positive cases. However, Hochul is urging residents to take prevention measures like staying up to date on vaccines and practicing proper hygiene to protect from COVID-19 and flu in the winter season.
Now let's take a look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brendan Rice.
Brendan, how's the weather looking out there?
Well, as you know, it's been pretty chilly lately, and it's going to continue that way at least for midterms week as we move forward. More snow, in fact, is on the way over the next few days, but the question still remains, will spring arrive in time for spring break? Back to the desk.
And coming up later tonight, 4 Americans are in danger at the Mexican border.
And another train has derailed? Find out after the break.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill
Should
told
we
me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Hello and welcome back to Storm Team 10. I'm Brendan Rice, your meteorologist for the evening, and here is your forecast. For current conditions, it's 33 degrees with some cloudy skies with low levels of humidity out there, pretty mild at the moment. As we look more into tomorrow, apologies for that. As we look into tomorrow, flurries will be continuing throughout the day, mostly into the evening, with some more gustier conditions throughout the day and evening. This will continue That's why tomorrow I recommend that we should have a medium-sized cup of coffee. Temperatures are going to be around 24 degrees with cloudier skies, like I mentioned, flurries into the evening. So it's going to be pretty chilly, especially for any of you guys that are going out for midterms. Moving forward, earlier this week, the threat level for snow and wind continues, although it is far diminished. Wind is going to be the biggest factor over the next few days, with gusts reaching possibly up into the 30s. Additionally, your day planner for tomorrow, looking at around temperatures in the mid-20s earlier in the day, moving into a high of around 30 degrees and flurries moving into the rest of the day, with, again, returning into the mid-20s by that evening. As I look at your 7-day forecast, as you can see, starting off with the week, we're starting with a more snowier skies, temperatures in the low 30s. This is going to move forward with our evening low temperatures continuing into the mid-20s and upper 30s. As we move towards the end of the week and moving in towards next weekend, temperatures are rising up into the mid-30s, possibly getting some of that change from snow to mixed precipitation or rain moving into next week. That's all for my forecast. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Brendan. Rochester saw a deadly stampede at Glorilla concert this Sunday. People are attending the concert began to trample each other after hearing what sounded like gunshots outside the venue. In a rush towards the emergency exits, a 33-year-old woman died, and 9 more have been injured. As a result, police say they have found no evidence of a shooting. And federal transportation safety officials are investigating another major train derailment in Ohio, as well as 2 separate air travel incidents, all happening in this past weekend. Officials report that the derailed train did not contain any hazardous material and is not a threat to the community.
In west central Ohio, anxious moments at this crossing as another Norfolk Southern freight train derails over the weekend.
Following these incidents, experts are developing digital train inspection program, which uses artificial intelligence and high-resolution cameras to identify problems that need repairs on trains.
4 Americans are believed to have been targeted and kidnapped by mistake in Mexico. The U.S. citizens crossed the border in a white minivan with a North Carolina license plate. According to a U.S. official, they reportedly crashed into another vehicle, which resulted in the 4 being assaulted and kidnapped at gunpoint. Mexico's president has begun a search for the missing Americans and believes the case will be resolved.
A massive fire has destroyed many facilities and homes in a Rohingya refugee camp in Bangladesh this Sunday. The blaze has left upwards of 12,000 people homeless. However, there has been no reported casualties as a result of the flames. Local and international humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to provide food and temporary shelter for those affected. And coming up on WTOP-10 Nightly News, a breakthrough with people with eczema.
And online shopping giant Amazon continues its cost-cutting efforts.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that black.
Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep. 10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. Here is your health and consumer update. Amazon says it is permanently closing 6 of its Go convenience stores. The stores, introduced in 2016, allowed customers to shop without having to check out or scan an item. This way, Amazon didn't need to hire any staff. Come April 1st, the online giant will close 2 stores in New York City and 4 in San Francisco. And the 2 downtown Seattle stores that were temporarily closed will remain that way. The closures come just days after Amazon announced pausing construction on its second headquarters, and 2 months after confirming plans to cut 18,000 jobs from its workforce.
Troubling news for fans of the popular keto diet. New research shows the low-carb, high-fat diet may put a person more at risk for heart disease. Researchers compared the diets of several hundred people on the keto diet with about 1,200 people on a regular diet and followed these participants for about a decade. Researchers caution their study showed the diet produced higher levels of bad cholesterol and doubled a person's risk of developing heart disease.
And nearly 30% of people in the U.S. are affected by eczema, but research may give them some new hope. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on why the new data may help in the effort to prevent this skin condition.
It's a very common problem, and the group who has severe disease is particularly affected.
The study's author says they hope to continue studying eczema and is hoping to figure out when exactly the reaction starts. And his next step is studying pregnant women and babies after birth.
Weeks before he's scheduled to testify before Congress, TikTok CEO Shou Chu defended the app's ties to China at a Harvard Business Review conference. He said China's government has never asked for U.S. user data and that the company would refuse any such request. He added that all U.S. user data is stored in the Oracle Cloud infrastructure, and access to that data is completely controlled by U.S. personnel.
A large service disruption left many Twitter users today frustrated. Many users received an error message saying your current API plan does not include access to this endpoint. This error caused issues like viewing images and links, but for some, access to the entire site. Twitter blamed the problem on an internal change that had unexpected consequences, with this second major glitch at Twitter in the past week and the third in under a month. And coming up in sports, it's Jaden Jiggetts.
Hey Jaden, can you give us a quick preview?
Thanks guys. Coming up, we will have recaps from Oswego Athletics as well as go down to the Dome for some Syracuse hardwood action. All this and more after the break.
Welcome back to Major Discussion.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Jaden Jiggetts with your Monday night sports report. SUNY Oswego's men's basketball team came out of this past weekend with a 66-61 win over John Carroll University. The Oswego Lakers defense played an important role in their victory over JCU as the Lakers held them to only 37.5% shots from the field and forced 7 first-half turnovers. The Lakers will now advance to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament as they will travel to Ashland, Virginia to take on the #1 ranked Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets. Oswego men's ice hockey fell short this past weekend in the SUNYAC championship against rival team the Plattsburgh Cardinals, losing 2-1. Plattsburgh had the Lakers beat 2-0 late in the third period with only 4 minutes left. This led to Oswego Laker hockey player Tommy Cahill, assisted by teammate Alex DiCarlo, scoring the only goal of the game for the white, green, and gold. The Oswego ice hockey team is now looking forward to earn an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Moving away from the ice rink and into the sunlight grass, Oswego's men lacrosse is back. Oswego has named Andrew Daly as the new head men's lacrosse coach. Daly joins the Lakers staff after head coaching at Wells College since 2015. Before Wells College, Andrew Daly has the assistant coach at SUNY Onondaga and had a 4th-year playing career at Wagner College. The future looks nice and bright for the Oswego spring team. Heading up into the Q's, Syracuse men's basketball team came away with a 72-63 win against Wake Forest. Syracuse Orange player Jesse Edwards put up an outstanding game as he recorded 27 points and 20 rebounds. Not only was this Jesse Edwards' best career effort, but it also makes him the first player to put up 20 points and 20 rebounds in a game for Syracuse since 2009 when Paul Harris put up 29 points and 22 rebounds. This win have earned Syracuse the number 8 seed, and a first-round bye in the 2023 New York Life ACC men's basketball tournament. From one orange and blue team to another, the New York Knicks took a stunning and impressive win against the Boston Celtics, winning the game 131-129 after 2 overtimes. Knick player Emmanuel Quickley showed up big for his team, scoring a career high of 38 points after playing 55 minutes in place of his teammate Jalen Brunson. This win gives the Knicks their 9th straight win, which is a season high for the team, and they won their regular season series against the Celtics, winning 3-1. That's it for sports. We have a man in Fargo who drives his Jeep with roof and doors open coming up right after the break.
Shine on that boy.
Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep. 10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Jill
Should
told
we
me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. For our final story of the night, a man in Fargo, North Dakota, drives his Jeep with no roof on or doors in sub-zero temperatures for two very different reasons.
One is for a dare, and the other is for the dogs.
You're not imagining things.
Everybody on their cell phones taking videos of me or their jaws dropping like, oh my God, what is he doing kind of thing.
Nick Adamski cruises around in his Jeep, top down and doors off, year round.
For me, it's normal. Everybody else is like shock and awe, you know?
It started out as a dare from a coworker.
I tell him to put them back on all the time. It's just Nick being Nick.
But then it grew into something much bigger.
Another coworker said I was doing something dumb to be dumb, so why not do something dumb for a good cause? So we decided to start a GoFundMe to see if I can make it a whole year to raise money for Love a Dog, the local dog charity.
And he didn't stop there.
That itch started coming back. Well, can I do it again? But yeah, people look at me weird because I'll drive with my foot hanging out.
He's now been driving in the elements for more than 1,000 straight days. That's almost 3 full years.
No, when I was coming into work, this typically says like -19, -20.
And he says he doesn't plan to stop anytime soon.
I mean, if you can ride snowmobiles, why can't you ride? I got a windshield.
And that's our report tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for our local OP.
Thank you for watching, and have a great night, everyone.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill
Should we
told me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.